It's December the 25th, 2014. I'm Dana Durnford, also known as the NuclearProctologist.org, and you can find my videos in Fukushima presentations live sometimes, usually 10:30 a.m. Pacific Canada time. We've been having a few issues because it's Christmas, I guess. I'm burnt out, completely burnt out. I woke up 1 o'clock last night and I was like, oh, well, I won't do a stream. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Hi, Elaine. Merry Christmas, everybody. Candace and Ping and Kate. Hi, Kate. And so I decided to do a stream Christmas. And while I was waiting for the stream to start, I was trying not to fall asleep again. So I guess I'm exhausted, whatever. And I put together a little interesting kind of a show for tonight. It's Christmas. I don't know if we call it the lighter side of anything, but just want to say hi to everybody for a few minutes. Hi, everyone. Hi, Nep Killer. Divine. Ping. Lewis K. How's everybody doing? See if there's any names there I missed. Hi, Mickey. It's an impromptu live stream. Impromptus. Let me kill that. Hang on. A little early for that one. Dana. Hi, Gil. How you doing, buddy? And how's everybody doing? Hi, Adam. And everyone else that's joining the stream. Hi, everyone. And so, I figure Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve is I gotta fix some stuff here before I start. Because, hey, that's how I roll. I don't know about you, but I like roll your boat. Roll your boat. Roll it. Roll that boat. Hang on. We'll get it. Dan, you should get this shit sorted out before you start, Dina. Yeah, but I didn't. And so, sue me. Almost ready? Almost ready, Dana. And so we got, what the hell do I know anyway? Anytime you're ready, Dana. Just start, Dana. Just start yakety yak. Yakety yak. And keep on racking. And so, I just grabbed all these pictures this afternoon. You know the irony of that picture is the Tepco. Someone's going in there with the suit on. He's got a face mask on. Going in Tepco. He's got that on because of radioactive fallout. That's reactor 3 and 4. Anybody's not familiar? Now, tonight there's going to be some zombie Santa Clauses. It's Merry Christmas Tepco, and I probably should have thought this out a little bit better, I suppose, but I didn't. And so I was out fooling around on the internet. And so this is all these tanks. These tanks weren't even meant to last a couple of years. Those couple of years are gone. They're all leaking, and anybody's not familiar with this, is they're pouring water down on top of the reactors. It's going over the fissionable products. And because it's so carcinogenic, it's so dangerous, they're storing it in tanks that they can pump out. Because a lot of it just goes on down into the earth. You know how water is. So around 300 tons a day is being pumped. So they're pumping, say, 600 tons a day on top of the reactors. And then they're pumping out 300 tons and putting it into the tank. And then there's a river that runs underneath the Fukushima Daiichi plant. And so all the stuff that's being washed down hits the river, and the river's whipping it out. Same thing with rain and snow. And so I'm waiting to get some decent pictures. Yay! The zombie got a foot for Christmas. And so I just thought that was a fun picture. If there was such thing as a planet turned into zombies, will we still have Christmas? I think that's a legitimate question. I know, it's just me, but that's the way I feel. Here's Mickey Mouse as a zombie. Pretty slick. Would you take your kids to Disneyland if he was down there looking like that? No. Well, in the next couple of years, you'll be looking like that because of what Japan done. Here's a Santa killing off zombies. I tell you, it was one of those nights. You should have paid attention when I said that. Here's a zombie Santa and a zombie coal hat man and a zombie kid with a green AK-47. Don't ask me. I don't know. I was just grabbing pictures. Ho, ho, ho. And he's got a bag full of zombies. You gotta admit there's some incredibly talented people on this planet. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a zombie. Kinda. Zoe. Oh my goodness, Zoe. You're not gonna go through all those wires, Zoe. Oh, good job, Zoe. So all those people you see there, that's homeless. They're dead. And there's around 4,800 workers that have been confirmed that died that worked for Tepco. There's 800 homeless people that went in there and never came back. And throughout Japan, many people in North America, tens of thousands of people have already died from the fallout from Japan's melted reactors. Let me keep moving around a little tiny bit. It's one of those nights we're going to have it. And the models you're seeing below me, these are models from major institutions around the planet. But what happened, what you're looking at, this was a photo op. This is supposed to be journalists. It's not journalists, okay? This is homeless people. They were given a few cameras, and then that was put out there, and he said it was, journalists will not go in there. Journalists are not able to go in there. Nobody else can go in there. You can't get into Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a candlestick compared to Fukushima. Chernobyl was insignificant compared to Fukushima. Chernobyl stopped after 10 days. These reactors didn't. That's why they got a sarcophagus over Chernobyl, but they can't put a sarcophagus over this. And so the victims you see there, these are victims. These are immigrants who don't speak the language. These are the homeless, the destitute, the street people. And once again, people who don't speak the language, day workers. And so this is how twisted and demented that industry actually is. Here's another one that's twisted. That's Obama, zombie. Hi, zombie Obama. How are you, buddy? You're probably a good guy like that. We know you're not a good guy right now. And we know that because there's 7 million refugees in Syria. Now, think about Iraq and Afghanistan. Millions dead, millions missing, millions in refugee camps, millions of orphans. Tonight there's over 5 million just in Afghanistan refugee camps. And there's just as many or more, well, there's 6 million, I think, in Iraq. There's around 4 million missing. But think about what the military done, all of that to get 10,000 bad guys. Think about that. There's 22 veterans committing suicide every day. So since those wars, there's 80,000 dead veterans versus 4,700 in combat. 80,000 dead from suicide after combat. Think about just 290,000 rapes in the last decade. 29,000 rapes a year in the military. Think about the millions that they raped, and think about all the kids that were born from that in Iraq and Afghanistan and now Syria and Libya, in Yemen and Somalia and all these other conflicts. This is all about 10,000 gangbangers. Think about over in India, in the Kashmir regions, 22,000 drone strikes to get the same 10,000 Taliban. Think about they fired 5.5 million rounds a month. Every month for 9 years. 5.5 million rounds a month. And then think about that the jets and the helicopters and the drones and the submarines and the ships fired a high explosive ordnance every minute. 1,440 minutes a day for 9 years to get 10,000 Taliban. And think about those bombs. So the 155 millimeter from the Abrams tanks, for instance, they got a 900-foot kill ratio, 3 football fields. And so they lobbed that into every neighborhood throughout the country, and Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya and Syria to get 10,000 gangbangers. Millions dead, millions missing, millions of rapes. And that you fell for that. You were tricked into that. You were deceived to do that, right? Tepco, the top three ones really tell the story, don't they? And Tepco, you know, I don't harbor any hard feelings for you. You know, after you're hung, I won't feel bad. You know, because it's a quick way for you to die. And in Japan, hanging's it's legal in Japan. Don't have a seizure. It's legal. Don't crawl in the corner and defecate on yourself. It's legal to hang them in Japan. Okay? I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say that in Canada. I got arrested for it already, so I'm just putting out a disclaimer. We don't have to change the laws like I always say for Canada, even though they arrested me anyway. In Japan, it's legal. And so we got to hang them all. But that don't mean we should hang them, hate them. You know, Merry Christmas, Tepco. I don't hate you. I just want to see you hanging, that's all. I think that's sensible because you killed the Pacific Ocean and a lot of people, and it ain't never going to stop. And you lied to us for all these years, so. I'm just saying. Santa is up flying in the jet streams where all that radiation, heavy radiation, is still sitting. You know, like the jet streams below me. And that's why Santa looks like that. It's not his fault. It's Tepco's fault. But we're not mad at Tepco today. Today's Christmas. Merry Christmas, Tepco. No more Fukushima. Tepco, please, if you don't mind. We had enough of that, okay? All right. All right. Okay. Here's some more homeless. Looking pretty spiffy in your paper suits. As if that's going to protect you. Now, the biggest producer there is curium. Curium, you need a lead shield 20 times thicker than what you need for plutonium. The plutonium is brutal. It pulses a long way. But even with a 20 times thicker lead shield, curium, which is the biggest producer of the fuel rods after they've been radiated, after they went through a chain reaction, and you put them in storage, the biggest producer is not cesium, it's not iodine, it's curium. It's man-made fissionable products. All these people you see there, they're dead. That's the homeless, the destitute, the people who don't speak the language, the ones that were shanghaied, the victims of society already, who can't read or write, who are dysfunctional, who can't manage their own home, they don't have a home, who can't function in society. Scoop them up. You won't see Harvard or Yale or Stanford in any of these pictures, or MIT or Oxford. You won't see them in these pictures. Or you, Vic, or Woods Hole. You won't see them in any of these pictures. How come? Because everything I'm telling you is true, see? That's Unit 3. This was Mox Fuel. Those people you see there, they're dead. They're dead. These buildings detonated. Where they're stood right now, debris flew way past that. And they came in with plows and buried it. And so weeks later, after this picture was taken, those people were dead. You won't see Harvard there. You're not going to see Yale in those pictures. You're not going to see anybody you can recognize in any of these pictures. They're the homeless. They got them covered up. This is photo shoots to make you think that everything is sensible. Oh, no, Dana, that's Tepco. Yeah. Tell that to these people. Tell them it's Tepco. In those pictures. They'll haul the head off your shoulders. Yeah? Can't blame them. But Merry Christmas, Tepco. Tonight's not about beating up on Tepco. Will work for food without radiation. I meant to fix that. Will work for food without radiation. Me too, I'll do it. I'll do it. You can prove me there's no radiation in food. Tepco, Tepco, Tepco. This is what they're doing. They're chemtrailing the sky with radiation from the nuclear power plants. And Anyway, let's keep going. Where's my zombie Santas though? I thought this was a pretty good one. That's pretty creative, yeah? I'm not sure what it means, but I thought it was a pretty cool picture. I was like, I like that picture. I like that picture. Someone painted that for Tepco for this Christmas. That's why I got it there. Here's the homeless getting their rads, getting their death sentences. Hello, slave. You speak English? No English. Good, you come with me. I give you $100. $100 a day. Yo, good money, good money. Yeah, good. No, radiation no bad. No. Radiation like banana. Like potato chip. Like walking in sunshine. You smile, you'll be okay. You smile. You okay, yeah? Sir. I'm being sarcastic. Don't forget to chop that part out and put the other there and say, Dana said it's okay. Dana said it's like a banana. Dana said it's like a potato chip. Does those tanks after 4.5 years look like they're in pretty good shape to you? Huh? Just kidding you. They're rusty. You know why? Because they're only supposed to last a year. They're just bolted together, those guys. They're done. And so who's going to manage all that? Who's going to work there? That's a death sentence. Who works among that? That's a death sentence. Whose job is it to go and fix that? It's going to be a death sentence. So the problems are real. The choices are difficult. And there's no drawing straws for this lottery. You get shanghaied off the street or you're an immigrant into the country. But you're not going to see Harvard or Yale or Stanford or Berkeley or MIT or Oxford walking on these tanks or checking up on it or walking around with Geiger counters at Fukushima Daiichi. But Merry Christmas, Tepco. Merry Christmas. Season eatings. That's the Tepco grandpappy. Somebody who used to work at Tepco. He's retired now. And he's eating the homeless because they wouldn't work at Fukushima. Merry Christmas. Wonder time. Merry Christmas, Tepco. So any time of year it can be sweet and kind and generous to Tepco. And Tepco's not like the other Tepcos in the neighborhood. Tepco's like they own the hospital. Tepco's the ones that's demonizing the mothers because they don't want their children to play in radiated playgrounds or schools. Tepco's the ones that's out there paying all the PR firms to attack me and attack you and attack everybody else. Tepco's the ones that's paying Twitter 12 billion yens or whatever the case may be to censor it. Tepco's the one that's out there with all the propaganda telling you Unifor spent fuel pool is Wonder Bars. But we're not mad at Tepco because it's Christmas Day today. It's okay. One day a year they're allowed to have a break. For the rest of the year we yell at them non-stop all day every day till we hang them. It's legal in Japan to hang them. It's legal. It's legal. So Constable Steve Crooks of the Victoria Police Department shouldn't talk a judge into writing a warrant by chopping out a soundbite with no pictures and saying, well, I was calling for hanging in Japan, Your Honor, we better pick them up. The people don't want to get hung. Yeah, but they're criminals. Yeah, but I'm a police officer. I watched 500 hours of your footage. I found a couple of sentences I didn't agree with, and I got you arrested. That's Constable Steve Crooks at the Sanies Police Department in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. They are a local police force. They're not even RCMP. I figured that anyway. RCMP are much too far above these guys' brain capacity. You know, can you imagine Constable Steve Crooks coming up to me at the courthouse and telling me he watched 500 hours of my footage? And I said to him, yeah, and you only found a couple of sentences. He said, yeah, that was enough. That's called stalking. That's called a fishing expedition. That's called taking things out of context. That's called you're getting a civil suit up your ass. When I'm finished with you, I'm having everything you got. Goes the same for you, Vic. The law school and Woods Hole. You guys are done. You're done. You're done. You're done. Coming after me was the worst thing you could have ever done. It was the worst thing you could have ever thought about. It backfired, 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 and still backfiring. There's nothing you can do to me that is not going to backfire. I'm honest, you're sacks of shit. I'm the good person, you're monsters. I'm the guy who's out there doing the real science. You guys are voodoo scientists. You're not scientists, you guys are disgusting maggots. You're perpetual misery machines like the reactors. See, the new Tepco sign should be a hangman's noose. Yeah? With Mickey Mouse ears or something. Hangman's noose with Mickey Mouse ears. And a really well-worn one. If you don't want someone to hang, you can't find someone to hang all these people, I'll go to Japan and do it. I'll hang on to the rope. I don't care. I'm not hard to get along with. If it'll help facilitate a way forward, I'll take on. It's legal in Japan to hang people. It's legal. It's legal. Don't throw a fit. Don't have a hissy fit. I saw a zombie eating Santa Claus. That's a book, but anyway, I got it there. So, mate. The 60-page form to file compensation claims, you're not going to get it anyway. The accusers are too busy milking us. Excuse me, too busy milking us. Tepco, that just sucks. Do the right thing. It's a democratic world we live in there. The right thing is to get your own ropes and go hang them. It's legal. It's like buying chips or drinking pop. It's legal. Okay, probably not the same legal, but... See, Tepco got a zombie. That's not the sort of zombie costume they had in mind, but they probably took it. They were like, that's probably the coolest one in the whole shop. Because nothing says zombie anymore like Tepco. Everything Tepco was kind of like... It's like Nazi memorabilia, you know. In the future, it'll be sold on the black market. Yeah, Shinzo Abe, he wore this at his first Tepco meeting, and he passed him 3 suitcases full of cash, around $60 million cash, so Abe wouldn't turn his back on him. Just saying. As you can see, full zombie mode can be achieved quite easily. People like, chemtrails not real, Dana. Actually, they are. Actually, that's global warming. But we used it in Vietnam. We made it rain over the Ho Chi Minh Trail for an extra month and a half during the monsoons. Extended it by a month and a half. Washed away villages, cities, communities. It was used over Vietnam for 9 years to chemtrail the sky with Agent Orange. Now, you got to realize what they were doing, flying high heights, chemtrailing Agent Orange. That went right around the planet. Right around the planet, just like the radiation from the reactors you see below me. Those models are based up on a single reactor for a couple of days below me. I thought it was a really interesting picture. Warning, fish are contaminated. Anything left in the Pacific is dead. Anything that's left in the Pacific that didn't die is full of radiation. I know you're going to have a hard time wrapping your friggin' minds around what I'm saying, so I better show you something, I suppose, because that might not help, but hey, who am I to say, right? So, missing species, phytoplankton, krill, anchovy, sardine, squid, herring, salmon, just to name a couple. And so everything that was dependent upon those, which is the majority of the mammals and animals and big species on the ocean, they starved to death because these species were missing, and plus many others. But these are the very basis for all the migratory, they're the basis for all the mammals, animals, and big animals in the ocean, the big critters. And so they died off already. We're looking at a full-blown extinction playing out in the Pacific Ocean. Let me come over and say hi to everybody. I got too much shit going on now, don't I? Dana, stop with that bling bling, Dana. Bling bling. Let's go over and see if we can find everybody. Hi, everybody. Let me see what we got going on here. Hi, Aquarius Charms. I just come over and say hi, it's Christmas. I just decided to come out. Hi, RWP. Because the last couple of days, all I done was slept. All the way up to last night. A little after 1 a.m. last night. Woke up. I was up to 7 o'clock this morning. I passed out for a couple of hours. Went out and hung out with my kid for a few hours. Came home and I got ready to do this. Just to let you know I'm still okay. I'm just not doing very good. I ran out of energy. I ran out of steam. I ran out of piss and vinegar. I ran out of everything. I just ran out of life, I suppose. Energy and self. I just ran to the ground. I've been at this 2 years. I haven't had a day off in 2 years. Where I had a day off. Yesterday I thought I was going to get a day off. George Butler called me and wanted to do a pre-tape for a radio show he's going to in Texas tomorrow night. And he wanted to really shake things up. And so he called up the old nuclearproctologist.org. And I was good to go. Then I went back to bed. But we had a few issues, but we got it going. It was a good stream. And so that'll show up in the search engines tomorrow night probably or the next day. George Butler. If you remember George, we done a symposium in Texas last year. That's the same George Butler. And he was so good yesterday. Well, he only had 3 opportunities to talk. I was in second gear. And we wanted to tell the story. And so we're at it again tonight. So in one way, just because I slept through all day yesterday, I still got a show and it's just not out there yet. So I'm so burnt out. Just worn out. And everybody knows that about me anyway that knows me. Knows how hard I work, knows how long we've been at this, knows how much energy I put into this, and knows that I'm committed to it, and knows that if we don't do it, we're in trouble. If we don't do something, we're in a stupid amount of trouble. And why this might not be much, I know, it does make a difference. It does rally people. It does inform people. Not all the time. So in the last 5 shows, there's a couple of shows where I burnt out. And sometimes I wonder, should I take a week or 2 weeks off? I can't see that happening to me, taking a week or 2 weeks off. Hi, everybody. Let's keep going. Let's keep it going. Don't eat the fish, okay? All I want for Christmas is brains. Brains. That's the logo. All Tepco employees get that tattooed on their arms. All I want for Christmas is brains. So these people go off to join the military to kill people. They think they're joining the military to defend the country, but that's why there's so many suicides. 22 veterans committing suicide every day. There's over 300 rapes a day in the military. And so they're thugs. Yeah, they got uniforms on. They're protecting our country from what? 10,000 Taliban. 10,000 Taliban. You got millions dead, millions missing, millions of refugees in each country that you thought the Taliban were in. Like, there's no hope for society if we don't stop this now. It's time for us to move forward. It's time for this planet to have an opportunity. It's time for all of this misery to stop. You already destroyed the planet. The military is up there flying high, sending all these rockets up through the ozone, dispersing all this aerosol in the upper tropospheres and stratosphere, and is destroying the planet. The military is the biggest user of fossil fuels and everything else combined. The biggest user of resources. We're only talking about America. You got China and India and Russia, Israel and Pakistan and every other country on the planet. And this is what their whole ideology is built around: mass murder and wrecking countries and then trying to go in and get the contracts to rebuild it. And we're running out of resources because how can you sustain something like that? Those ships and those Humvees and those big jets and tanks, they gotta have transport trucks and transport trucks and transport trucks of fuel for each one of these just to go 1,000 miles. The big ships are sucking fuel like you can't even imagine. Half the fleet is gas pullers. Half the military is gas pullers or suppliers. It's completely untenable. But all countries are doing this. How can we have any future doing that? How can there be any way forward doing this, even without Fukushima? How can we have a future with this fucking thing on the go? How? 63 cents on every dollar. And you're a democratic country. Shut your pie hole. You're stupid beyond imagination. And so this picture... Don't even ask me. Let's keep going. Zombie Santa Claus? You like that? He got a little elf inside of his rib cage. Man, some people are so talented, right? Just mad talent. But that's not a solution to radiation. That's not a solution to going to Fukushima and dealing with it. That doesn't work. This stuff is one 10,000th of a millionth of a meter. That mass can't even keep out the 1 millionth, let alone 1/10,000th of a millionth. Like, it covers up your face, stops the stuff from landing on your face, breathing it, some of it in, but majority is going to get through. But cancer is the last one that shows up. See, everybody thinks cancer, oh, you got to get cancer. And you will, but it's the last one that's going to show up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. 1,800 autoimmune deficiencies will show up first. Alzheimer's, dementia, diabetes, heart, liver, lung, respiratory. Dementia is a scary one, see? Put something else down below, Dana. These are all models down below me of fallout from Fukushima. Just because the model stopped at 40 days, this one doesn't mean the radioactive fallout went, okay, 40 days is up, game over. We're all going to turn to lead. It never turns to lead because you took the elements and you added extra electrons to it. And so now you change. There's nothing else in the universe with that atomic number, only what we created. And there's nothing on the planet ever encountered it before, so we have no defense mechanism to deal with it. This was the only picture that I was familiar with, all the pictures I got here today. But I thought that was appropriate, so I threw it in there tonight. How, like, what they're wearing can't protect them. They can absorb this stuff when they're drinking water, eating food, and on their clothing. So when they get home, they got to strip off their clothing and throw it away every time they go outdoors. But their house is contaminated. You can't keep the stuff out. So we got to come up with solutions. Sweeping it under the rug is never going to work. It can't work. But that's the game they're playing. They're sweeping it under the rug. You think it's something that it's not. You think it's something that is wonderful, that could save mankind, nuclear, but nuclear doesn't work that way. Nuclear only wrecks the planet. It has no purpose. You got to get 400 train cars just to get a gram. Then you got nowhere to put the gram when you're finished with it. It's a dirty bomb. And that the gases will detonate when it comes in contact with air till the end of time. You got no way of managing it, no way of containing it. It's the stupidest thing imaginable. And the people that propagate it have to lie to you and have to manipulate you and deceive you by telling you it's like a banana or a potato chip or walking in sunshine or the animosity equivalents. So don't mind me tonight. It's not my normal stream, I know. But I wanted to come out and have a conversation. And so Merry Christmas, Tepco. Seemed like a good idea at the time. I'm still not regretting it. But think about how the tsunami went through Japan, and that when the nuclear power plant loses power for an hour and a half, 90 minutes, it'll start to melt down. And that the plants you see them starting up are almost all on the east coast, and the only one on the west coast where the tsunami hit is way up a couple of hundred miles past Tokyo. Like 400 miles away from Fukushima, which was the epicenter of the tsunami. And so they're not going to be starting any of the nuclear power plants up anywhere around Fukushima because they melted down too. And they covered it up. That's why the Pacific Ocean has died in 4.5 years. It's because we have so many melted reactors on the coastline. See, the tsunami killed the power throughout that whole country. But particularly along the east coast of Japan, where the tsunami hit. And so, all those people there, if they're in Fukushima, they're dead. That's dead people. You're not going to survive after you go to Fukushima. You die. Right? Wearing all the plastic and everything else is not going to protect you from the gamma shines, the X-rays, the neutron bursts, and just the rods. I mean, it was over 1 million sievers outside of number 2. No one picked that up. They plowed it into the dirt there. And then they put pavement over it. That can't protect you, though. And just because you can't see it, or smell it, or taste it. And I know Yoshi was down there, Yoshi Shimatsu. And Yoshi, he sent me an email just recently, and he's got a lot of scabbing going on and burn marks after he went into the prefecture. It happened when he was driving along. He felt like pinpricks in his skin, and this scabbed over the next couple of days, but he did. And this was known as heavy dosing. He's got a number of doses. Yoshi's ridden there probably 20 times on his bicycle to raise awareness. It's a death sentence. He's the only guy out there I know who truly speaks with passion and vigor about this and tells the truth repeatedly in that community, you know? Extremely well-spoken and vocal about it, and very adamant how bad it is, and he's not going to be put off. All these people you see here, they're dead people. That's dead people. These people here, this is the USS Ronald Reagan. And so you can't decontaminate. That's what they're trying to do after the plume came through. But you can't decontaminate even with battery acid. You can take these isotopes, put it in battery acid, you're not going to hurt them or change them. You can take those isotopes you see down there and put them in battery acid, you're not going to stop them. You can burn them in incinerators at 3,000 and 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, 3,000 is what they burn at. And you can't destroy them, you just liberate them back into the environment. That's what they're doing in Japan. At the incinerators. All the incinerators are taking what they call decontaminating, digging up shit from one community, bring it to another one, chop it up, grind it up, and burn it in the incinerators. And then re-liberate it throughout those communities, which probably weren't even as bad as the other parts of Japan. In one sense, of all of Japan is contaminated heavily, then none of it is, right? It's all the same, see? Oh no, there's no more here than it is down there. Right, Abe? Just don't tell anybody. Right? Look at the luxury these people live in, eh? And they have zero apathy. This is what our trees are doing now and our plants are doing. The pollen is radioactive. Remember after the accident, there was all this yellow stuff that fell? And they said it was pollen, but it was still snowing down there. How are you going to have pollen when it's still snowing, you know? All Japan, all Tepco is done for us. By the way, Merry Christmas, Tepco. All Japan and Tepco is done for us is kill us. And kill everything around us. And kill our loved ones and our friends and our families permanently. Kill this entire planet. It's all he's fucking done. I'm having a cigarette. Don't have a seizure. It doesn't have 7,000 chemicals. Did you know cigarettes had 7,000 chemicals? No, Dana, you said it. Probably not true. Well, I don't lie. I don't make stuff up either. How can you make shit up like this anyway? Why would you bother? How long would it take them to come out and debunk you? They'd be right all over you. You know why no one comes out and debunks me? With like a real scientist or real academics or real media. It's because they can't. It's like if I'm on trial coming up and they're trying to cross-examine me, who the frig are they going to get to cross-examine me? Where are they going to find a judge or a prosecutor who's going to understand the details I understand? Where are they going to find someone who can argue the points against me in this system? Because I never done nothing and I'm telling the truth. They have to lie to convince the judge that I'm wrong. And they can't do it because I know all these little games. They're done. Same thing with the civil suit. I'm going to beat them in the civil suit because they got no one to argue for them. That's what you get for being lawyers. That's what you get for being mass murderers. That's what you get for being useful idiots for corporations, for corporate personhood. See, even Godzilla is like, what are you clowns up to? Right? So if Godzilla can get it, you can get it. Don't ask me, I don't know, but this was a Japan picture. You got a plant creating oxygen, I guess, and she's breeding it because that's the only chance we got left. It's a pretty brilliant design. Zoe, you're not going out. You're not going out there because the cougars are starving. The bears are starving. They'll eat you. Settle down. Good girl. Good dog, Zoe. Are we really going to let a bunch of greedy, selfish fools doing this whole planet? I can assure you, not on my watch, they're not getting away with it. Told you it'd be a different night, didn't I? This is number 3. This was mixed oxide fuel. This is where he took missiles that were in silos for 30, 40, 50 years. They're already unstable, already gone through a chain reaction. And he reclaimed the uranium plutonium. The plutonium will burn a couple of 100,000 times hotter than the uranium to reclaim stuff. And that was mixed oxide fuel, MOX fuel. And so that's why we're in so much trouble again, is because we're using stuff like that. No, you're not going out, Zoe. So, see all these tanks? They're going to drain all that into the ocean. Or they're going to evaporate it. They're starting to do that. What the frig is wrong with these people? That's a dirty bomb. Like, they got to take away all of our freedoms. Take away all of our freedoms. So a terrorist don't get a dirty bomb, a few grams, and wreck a city. But yet they're going to allow them to go down there and boil it off. That's a dirty bomb. It's outrageous. They can build a facility and store it. But there's no incentive to burn money. For corporations, they're not allowed to do that. Corporate personhood does not burn money. They have to make profit. They have to make shares. And so they'll lobby government so they can dump it in the ocean so they don't have to store it forever because there'll be no shares for everybody. And these industries should never be on the stock exchange. Why would you put a monster on the stock exchange? You're only asking for nothing but pollution for the rest of your life by putting them on the stock exchange. It's an outright betrayal. By the way, the Globe and Mail pushes stocks constantly. They were the ones who accused me of death threats when I'm charged with criminal harassment of nuclear pukes, of nuclear mass murderers. Of mass murderers. I won't be withdrawing any of my comments for mass murderers, I can assure you. And Tepco rubber stamps everything. They got Abe there. That's what Abe does. He rubber stamps everything for Tepco. Oh, I want another 60 billion yen. Here you go. Rubber stamp it. So we have to stop this. We have to put an end to these people. We have to hold them accountable. We have to get in their faces. We have to make enough noise they can't deny it anymore. They have to make enough noise that they cower and defecate in the corner in fear. All over themselves, hopefully. It's not worth it, Roy. Let's just give him our noses. And let him go. The rabbit got a hair dryer, right? And the big bad snowman, right? He caved. Even though the rabbit's little tiny thing, he had a weapon. And we have that weapon. It's our voices. The thing that they fear the most is your voice. Even though you might think you're insignificant or that no one's going to pay any attention to you. Trust me, they're paying attention. And that as people raise their voices, they lose the game immediately. The more people raise their voices, and right now lots of people are starting to raise their voices. There was over 60 articles written about Uvik and Woods Hole after I got arrested, wrecking them, wrecking their narrative, wrecking what they done, wrecking their lies, showing their lies. So they were totally exposed. They all had to go back into their caves, turn the lights off, and crawl in their coffins and hide away and hope people would forget about them. Because when you shine a light on these types of predators, they wither and die. Some clever people out there, eh? See, someone got to make a doll like that with Tepco and you stick needles in it. I'll buy a couple of $100 off you right away. Or something like that. Lots of talented people out there, eh? I thought it was fun. A fun picture. How come these guys don't have peckers? I've never seen... that's probably not a good thing to say tonight, I'm sure. But how come these guys never have a couple of cahoozas hanging down there, you know? Is it just me, or is that just the way life is? So who can I see about some responsibility around here? Right, there's nobody to hold responsible. You're talking about a corporation. Think about Google, where nobody can go to jail. They can't get a criminal record. All he can do is get a fine. Eric Smith breaks the law. He doesn't get a criminal record. He doesn't go to jail. He's not held accountable. He's given a promotion. He's given benefits. He's invited to the White House. He's put on a pedestal. He goes down to North Korea. But he's a criminal. Make no mistake about it. That's a criminal. But because he's corporate personhood, nobody can hold him accountable. That's what Tepco is corporate personhood. And the Japanese government owns 51% of the shares of Tepco. Tepco is nobody's friend. Tepco, I can assure the people at Tepco, the people on this planet, will remember that name in despair and in absolute contempt till the end of time. People will say Tepco and go, Pff, Tepco. Tepco. Pff. It's going on right now. I do it all the time. Tepco. Pff. Ah. Come here, Zoe. Yeah, no, there's no radiation. I don't know what you people are worried about. That's what he's saying. I'm Tepco. You shut up and leave it to us. Right? They should have hung that guy right on that spot. It's legal in Japan to hang them when they're lying to you like that. I don't care anyway. Here's your future Christmas list. My cigarettes don't got 7,000 chemicals in it. Called CNTs. If you're trying to quit smoking, that's probably a good way to start. Get rid of the 7,000 chemicals. Get rid of the 7,000 chemicals. It'll be a lot easier, yeah? You probably don't even need to at that stage. So, are you guys ready to die? That's what he's saying. They're saying, me no speak Japanese. Me, I from Philippines. That's all the immigrants and the homeless. There's no one there can read or write. I'm sure there's probably a couple, but these are not skilled workers. These are not trained people. These are not, they don't have nuclear power plant benefits. They don't get nuclear health care. They don't have nuclear dental. They are disposed of. They are thrown away like toilet paper. They have no value to these people. They use them up and they throw them away. Here's a typical Tepco employee's baby. How do you keep the Tepco? How do you keep Tepco out of your garden, your back garden? You hang one of them from your front garden. We got to change laws in Canada so we can hang a few other people too. Just saying it's legal. If we change the law, then we could do that. We're rolling up to 7:58. Let's boogie through the rest of these, I suppose. Merry Christmas! Bloody trail. That's what Tepco's left behind. Merry Christmas, Tepco. Left nice bloody trail. See Call of Duty Black Op? Nuketown plus fun equals nuked. So Black Op is running this nuke thing so children don't worry about Fukushima. Oh, it's okay. It's just nuclear. It's no big deal. Dad or Mom, we play it in video game all the time. Please don't worry. It's just all blew up. He's yelling into the microphone. Please don't worry. We're government. You can trust us. Anybody that trusts the government is an idiot. Anybody that trusts the guy who trusts the government is an idiot. Anybody trusts the guy who trusts the government who trusts the government, oh, that made a lot of sense, is an idiot. Anybody that trusts any government whatsoever is a moron. You're a moron. If you got any faith in your government, you're an idiot. Season's eating a very zombie Christmas. Maybe I already seen that one. Am I finished? No. Zombie outbreak response team, that'd be us. And here's these people saying, well, now Jan Brooks, Miss Melky put up a couple of videos last night. Really good videos. One about the Fukushima farmers. They won't even eat their own product. They feel guilty like you can't believe. They're disgusted. And the government is not checking for anything. And when they saw it, when they decontaminated a farm in Japan, and you know what they do? They till deeper. And they mix the soil and the radiation. That's what they call decontaminating. If that's not the sickest thing imaginable, I don't know what is. If that's not the biggest betrayal imaginable, I don't know what is. Well, I do know what is, but that's a betrayal is what I'm trying to say. Oh, we're getting close to it now. The nuke apocalypse is not a bomb. It's radioactive fallout. It's annihilating this entire planet. These are all waiting for Tepco employees. They just don't know it yet. And so that's death row, hopefully, where we can put them all. We can put 30 in a cell, I think, right? That's a good start. They don't need no toilet. They can defecate on each other. I don't care. Merry Christmas. Yeah, you like that one? Merry Christmas. Imagine getting one of those for Christmas under the Christmas tree. Radioactive heart and livers. You know, there was 10,000 baby sea lions last year died, or this year, was it? They swam ashore and there was nothing on the rocks to eat, so they ate the rocks. Normally they would eat the rocks and there'd be nutrition on it, algae and everything else, right? And then they could poop out the rocks because they had enough energy. But all the dead seals were emaciated and they ate the rocks and they were found dead, emaciated, with 5, 10, 15 pounds of rocks in their stomach. They were so hungry, they came ashore because they couldn't get food where they were told. The krill are gone, the herring are gone, the squid are gone, the anchovies are gone, the sardines are gone, the basis of the food chain is gone. But see, the future rock stars are going to be zombies. I thought that was a fun picture. Little scary. Are you good this Christmas, Timmy? Yes, Mr. Kringle. Oh, well, I guess we reached the end of the night. Just go ahead and have a little chat with everybody. This was the Typhoon Haiti. This typhoon went over Japan and went down to the Philippines. That's the Philippines. This typhoon, the eye was 100 miles wide. The typhoon was 300 miles wide. But it was like an F5 tornado. It hit land at over 200 miles an hour and sustained that through 40 provinces. It turned 30 million coconut trees and coconuts, which is probably billions of coconuts on 30 million coconut trees. But 30 million coconut trees were turned into projectiles. 200 miles an hour winds, right? Sustained. That went on to Vietnam. We've never seen that on our planet before. It done that because of all the radiation it picked up. That's pure energy. So a gram of radiation like a gram the size of a dime, if you atomize and aerosoling it, it didn't lose its energy, and a gram is 1,000,000 watts. 1,000,000 watts. Right? You can run your house for 9 months or something. Think about that. And that's why we're getting these superstorms showing up. We've never seen that on our planet before. Not in storms. Tepco, the worst ever polluting company. Tepco. Yeah, no, they wrecked the planet. They killed the planet. They killed about 4 million species in the Pacific Ocean already. It's shocking. It's unbelievable. Contaminated water crisis. They want to dump it all into the ocean. Because they got no choice. They got to keep the site. They got to stay on the site. And the only solution they can come up with is not to build a facility in land and store it. No. Until they come up with technology, but just to dump it in the ocean. Dirty bomb after dirty bomb after dirty bomb. Horrendous. Unbelievable. Like a cubic centimeter of this stuff could be 500 million becquerels or 5 billion becquerels in a cubic centimeter. You're supposed to measure this in a cubic meter. You can't believe nothing comes out of their mouth on top of that. They're digging up the whole country. They got 9 million bags in just the Fukushima prefecture, 1-ton bags. 9 million. Over 9 million bags. You still can't decontaminate the country because it doesn't stop coming out of the reactors. Think about it, they blew up. They detonated. They threw the rods all over that friggin' site. They went in with plows and plowed it on under the dirt. So every time it rains and snows, all the water pouring on it is running over the fissionable products down into the groundwater and getting flushed out into the ocean. It's splitting the atoms. So if you had a piece of this 1 pound long that blew out of there, it will kill every 1,500 people every 20 minutes till the end of time. And then it will kill all the animals till the end of time. 1,500 at a pop every 20 minutes till everything was gone. And that rod, you can take it to another planet and exterminate everything on that planet. Tepco, here's how they were practicing to get the fuel rods out. Right? They monitor these games. When they see somebody's really good at it, they hire them. But look at these reactors. Look at that. There's no way to get a fuel rod if you could find one there. Welcome to Tokyo Electric Power Company. Is that a radiation detector? No, it's a lie detector. These are things you'll never see in real life. But that's what needs to happen. Well, you use the lie detector and waterboarding at the same time. I recommend waterboarding them at least 183 times. That way you can be sure they're going to confess. I'm just saying, right? That's the elephant foot at Chernobyl. That's why they got a sarcophagus over Chernobyl. It's not a seal, but it's a sarcophagus. Whether it does any help or not, who knows. But see, the chain reaction stopped, so they got an elephant foot. Japan, it didn't stop. That chain reaction in 10 days was equal to 400 Hiroshima bombs, but then it stopped. If it had lasted 20 days, it'd be 800 Hiroshima bombs. If it had lasted all the way today, it'd be over 500,000 Hiroshima bombs. But you got to realize Chernobyl was just a candlestick to Fukushima reactor. Chernobyl was 1/3 the size. Chernobyl was a 30% meltdown. Chernobyl stopped after 10 days. Chernobyl, they abandoned the homes. In Fukushima, you get a free home if you're pregnant. In Chernobyl, it was graphite. In Chernobyl, it contaminated the EU. And the core was located. But in Fukushima, it killed the Pacific. We don't know where the cores are. They were using mixed oxide fuel, 3 million times worse than any other reactor on the planet. In Fukushima, they say none died, but yet we got proof 4,800 workers died. We got proof 800 homeless died. But yet the government and the militarized media come out and told us over and over and over, Uvik and Woods Hole and the rest of them have told us no one died. There was no harm. There was no effects. You know that's a lie. How can that not be a lie? It's okay because we found the elephant foot in Chernobyl. Okay. It's 8 o'clock. We'll come in and say hi to everybody. Let me flash through the pictures really fast. Eat the rich before they eat you. Probably a good idea. Different ways to become a zombie. Radiation is one of them. That's why I made the video tonight. That's Unit 3. Now, there's no spent fuel pools there, are there? They're up close to the roof. There's no spent fuel pools. Spent fuel pools every 18 months took £5 million in each of the buildings. Each reactor was £5 million, 3,450 assemblies, 80 rods in each assembly. Each rod is 12 feet long, weighs 18 pounds. That's the show tonight. Just figured I'd come out, say hi to everybody, try to get back into the gears again. Yeah, the radiation is like the sun, where, like when it pulses, it can pulse in all directions, like a light bulb throws light out into your room. But it does that every second till the end of time. Now, the atom can contain many isotopes from a neutron bombardment. So when you ingest a single isotope, you can get many types of cancers, because this is man-made isotopes. They say it's like iodine is like, they say it's iodine, for instance, is one of the isotopes. It's not the iodine from seaweed or salt. It just acts the same way as iodine. It's man-made, see? That's the difference that people can't wrap their mind around. Anyway, good night, everybody. Gil, Divine, Mickey. Strain. I'm just saying hi to everybody that's around. Wasn't really expecting many. Hi, Terry Ann. Hi, Shani again. That's Elaine, folks. Anybody's not familiar, Elaine has been a massive supporter, like everybody. But she's really went to bat for us over and over and over and over, without reservation. And that's the same for Janet and Fred out there. I can't say enough. And I can't possibly include everybody. I can't remember everybody, and sometimes I wish I could, right? And because there's so many people out there that has helped in every way possible, and there's people out there I don't even know exist that has helped us unimaginably. And that's the whole thing that's why this works. It's because everybody, they don't ask for nothing in return. They just understand that they do their part the best they can, and that everybody's not privileged. And that even the ones that are not privileged have bent over backwards and sacrificed to get us to this point. And we've all paid the prices. And that is what gives us the strength, right? That is what gives us the fortitude. That is what gives us honor. And that is what makes us who we are, is the fact that collectively we are a force to be reckoned with. And that as we grow, and we are growing, and people are waking up, and people are becoming aware, and people are speaking out, and people are becoming astute and articulate and articulating these points. And that we have won this battle, but we can't let up, in the context of the lies have to stop soon, because the death of the Pacific Ocean can't be denied any longer. And that the repercussions from that is not something that we can continue to deny, that we're going to have to deal with it. And that they're going to have to come clean, because their very existence is predicated upon the truth coming out. And that the lie can't sustain itself any longer. That it's not plausible any longer. That the bananas and the potato chips have met their match. It's us. It's Dana and the Hounds of Fukushima. And all the people that understand this. Good night, everybody. Yeah, thanks, Elaine. Great show with me on Rinses on Monday. Like you say, George Butler will be posting one tomorrow night or the next day. But he'll be doing live in Texas tomorrow night. You might be able to find a link if you're looking for it. It was a good show yesterday. And good night to everybody. Terry and Mickey. Nash. I probably forgot lots of people. G.I. Divine. Candace is in there. Amthirst. Aquarius Charm is in there. And everybody else. All I can say to you is Merry Christmas. Hugs for everybody. Not sure how the next couple of days are going to play out for me. I'm so exhausted. I just don't know. But if I'm feeling okay, I'll be doing a stream each day. Because that is me anyway, right? That's what makes me tick. But I mean, I must admit that I'm just so worn out. I'm so burnt out. Hopefully the last couple of days of sleeping will help. We'll see. So hugs for everybody. We'll see you when we see you. Hopefully tomorrow or the next day. It's Christmas, so I'm going to go a little easy, I hope. And if not, well, we'll go hard. Take care, folks. We'll see everybody soon.